How one honest choice can change everything. Long ago, in a quiet village surrounded by soft green hills, there lived a young man named Elias. He was gentle, curious, and full of bright dreams, yet something always held him back. Every morning, Elias woke up with the urge to change his life. He would sit by his window, looking out at the fields glowing under the sun, and whisper, "Today, I will begin." But as the hours passed, his plans blurred. By noon, he had forgotten what he meant to do. By nightfall, he felt tired and lost, unsure why another day had slipped through his fingers. The villagers liked him. They called him a dreamer. Yet Elias felt a heavy ache inside. He wanted to build a life he could be proud of, to grow, to give, to create something that mattered. But his mind was like a flock of birds, flying in different directions, never landing long enough for him to take a single step forward. He tried many things. He worked for a carpenter, but after a few days he grew impatient. He tried painting, then farming, then helping in the mill. Each time, excitement filled him at the start. But soon he drifted, chasing another idea. At night, lying under the wooden beams of his small room, he would stare at the ceiling and whisper, "Why can't I stay the course?" One cool evening, as the sun dipped behind the hills, Elias wandered to the riverbank. The water gleamed gold, moving gently toward the valley. There, sitting on a smooth stone, was an old woman. Her hair shone silver in the fading light, and her eyes were calm, like still water untouched by wind. She looked at Elias with a kind smile. "You carry too many voices in your head," she said softly. Elias stopped, startled. "How do you know?" "I see the way your steps wander," she replied. "A restless mind leaves restless footprints." Elias sat beside her, drawn by the quiet strength in her voice. "I want to do something good with my life," he confessed. "But I can't hold on to anything. I start, then stop. I feel as though I'm wasting my years." The old woman nodded. She picked up a stick and traced a line in the sand at her feet. "Your mind," she said, "is like this river. It flows everywhere unless you give it a course. If you want strength, you must teach it where to go." Then she reached into her small woven bag and pulled out a smooth, round stone. "Take this," she told him. "Tomorrow at dawn, climb the hill behind the village. When you reach the top, place this stone on the highest rock. But there is one rule. You must not let it fall, no matter how tired you grow." Elias turned the stone over in his palm. It was plain and gray, warm from her hand. He wondered how such a simple task could change anything. But something in her steady gaze silenced his doubts. That night, Elias lay awake. The moon spilled silver across his room. He thought about the stone, about the hill, about the meaning behind her words. Somewhere deep inside, a small flame of hope flickered. Before the first light touched the horizon, Elias rose. He dressed quietly, slipped the stone into his hand, and stepped into the cool morning air. Mist clung to the grass. The world felt new, waiting. He walked toward the hill, heart beating with both fear and excitement. At the base, he paused and looked up. The climb seemed longer than he remembered, but he tightened his grip on the stone and began. At first, the path was gentle. Birds sang in the branches. Elias felt strong, almost eager. But soon, the slope grew steeper, the earth uneven. His legs burned, and beads of sweat gathered on his brow. The stone, though small, seemed to grow heavier with every step. Halfway up, his breath grew shallow. Doubts whispered in his mind. "Why am I doing this? I could leave the stone here. No one would know." But then he remembered the calm face of the old woman, her quiet voice. "Give your mind a path." Elias stopped to rest, leaning against a tree. Below him, the village lay still, roofs catching the first gold of morning. Above, the hilltop waited, clear against the pale sky. He closed his eyes, feeling the cool breeze on his face, and decided to go on. The trail narrowed, Roots and rocks twisted across the ground. Elias had to step carefully, holding the stone close to his chest. His heart pounded and his hands trembled. He slipped once, scraping his knee. For a moment, anger rose inside, at the stone, at the hill, at himself. But then something shifted. He realized the stone was not just a burden. It was a promise, a choice to keep walking, even when it hurt. A quiet strength grew inside him, built step by step, breath by breath. When Elias finally reached the summit, the sky was wide and clear. Sunlight spilled across the valley, painting the fields below in soft gold. He set the stone on a flat rock, as the old woman had told him. Standing there, he felt light, as though the weight he had been carrying was not only the stone, but his scattered thoughts. The wind touched his face gently, as if congratulating him. And in that moment, Elias understood. Discipline was not a cage. It was a bridge, a way to guide his strength toward something steady and bright. One honest choice, made again and again, could change the whole shape of a life. When Elias walked back down, the world looked different. The trees seemed greener. The air smelled fresh, alive. He felt taller, though his body had not changed. From that day on, Elias lived with new clarity. He chose one craft, woodworking, and gave it his focus. At first, his hands were clumsy. He made mistakes, split wood, wobbled tables. But he did not leave, not this time. He stayed, shaping and sanding, learning the patience of smooth edges and quiet lines. Weeks turned into months. His shop began to fill with sturdy chairs, polished tables, small boxes carved with care. Neighbors came, surprised by the quality of his work. Children leaned against his doorway, watching the soft fall of shavings from his tools. Elias discovered joy in steady effort. He felt a calm pride each evening when he swept his floor, leaving the room clean for tomorrow's work. He no longer chased every passing idea. His dreams still bloomed, but now they had roots, deep and steady. Sometimes when the sun was just right, Elias climbed the hill again. The stone still sat there, untouched by wind or rain. He would stand beside it, looking at the world spread out below. Fields, roofs, trees bending in the breeze. He always left with the same quiet strength that had carried him up that first morning. Years passed. Elias became known not only as a skilled craftsman, but as a man people sought for advice. Young villagers who felt lost would come to his shop, hoping for wisdom. He would pause his work, wipe the dust from his hands, and invite them to sit. The power of a clear goal, he would say, is like sunlight through a window. When your thoughts are scattered, the light spreads thin. But when you focus, that same light can warm you, guide you, even move mountains. And often, with a gentle smile, he added, "You don't need to climb a hill every day, but you must carry your choice honestly, the way you carry your breath. Stay with it, even when it feels heavy. That is how you build a life that matters." His words and his example began to change the village. People started finishing what they began. They repaired old houses, planted gardens, opened shops filled with laughter and work. There was a new sense of calm in the air, as though one man's steady heart had set something larger in motion. Even on stormy days, when rain swept the hills or work piled high, Elias would pause. He would picture that first sunrise at the top, the stone resting firm against the sky. He would remember the calm of the old woman's voice and the lesson that had reshaped his life. A clear goal gives the heart direction. Discipline gives the soul peace. And one honest choice, kept alive, can change everything. So, dear friend, if your mind feels heavy or your dreams seem far away, remember Elias. Choose one thing that matters to you. Hold it close, steady, even when the road grows steep. Let your steps be led by purpose, not by every passing wind. Bit by bit, you will find your strength. Bit by bit, you will see the view from the top. And there, in the quiet air, you will know that your life has taken shape because you stayed true to a single, honest choice. Thank you for joining us for this story on Finance Compass. If it touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe for more stories that inspire hope, courage, and clarity. May your goals shine bright, your mind remain steady, and your days be filled with gentle light, like the first sun breaking over a quiet hill at dawn.